What if I told you that healing isn't the end of the story, but the very beginning? So many of us chase healing like it's a finish line, a moment where everything feels fixed, complete, and normal again. But healing isn't about erasing what happened. It's about reclaiming who you are, even with the cracks, the scars, and the detours. It's about looking at your reflection, flaws and all, and saying, I'm still here, and that's enough. Welcome to InspireAbility, where we unpack real stories of resilience, recovery, and rediscovery. I'm Ruby, and today's episode is about the kind of healing that doesn't always look pretty or linear. When people hear the word healing, they often imagine calm, clarity, and closure. But in truth, healing is messy. It's layered. It is a daily choice to keep showing up when the world feels uncertain and your own path forward is unclear. In this episode, we'll explore what it really means to heal, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, because healing isn't about achieving perfection. It's about discovering your power, the power to keep going, to redefine your narrative, and to take ownership of your story once again. After my accident, people would often say things like, "You'll bounce back, Ruby, you're strong." I'd smile politely, but deep down, a question haunted me. What if I don't? Because the truth is, bouncing back implies returning to what was, but I couldn't. That version of me, the one who lived without chronic pain, without physical limits, was gone. For a while, that realization completely broke me. I desperately tried to chase normalcy, to walk the same, work the same, and live the same life I had before. But my body kept sending me reminders. Things had changed. Healing didn't mean going back to who I was. It meant moving forward differently. That is when I began to understand that the myth of full recovery is one of the biggest unspoken pressures people living with disabilities and chronic conditions face. Society wants a neat, tidy ending to every story of struggle, but real healing, it's ongoing. It's a process that evolves right alongside us. It isn't a destination you arrive at, but a path you learn to walk day by day, and accepting that was the first real step in my own healing journey. People often see the physical recovery, the braces, the mobility aids, the visible adaptations you make to your life, but the emotional work is almost entirely invisible. It's learning to accept help without feeling a crushing sense of guilt. It's forgiving yourself on the days when your energy completely runs out before your to-do list does. It's navigating the complexities of your own identity when a life-altering event changes how the world sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. For months, I battled this intense internal resistance. I didn't want to be labeled as inspirational just for getting out of bed. I just wanted to be seen as me, as Ruby. And that became the absolute heart of my emotional healing. Rebuilding my self-worth beyond my productivity or my physical abilities. There's so much power in being able to say, you know what? I'm not okay today, because that's where authenticity and true, genuine connection with others begins. It's in the honest moments, not the brave faces, that we find our real strength. For a long time, I saw myself through the lens of loss. I was defined by what I couldn't do anymore. My thoughts were consumed by the activities, dreams, and parts of my identity that felt gone forever. But then, during a support group session, someone said something to me that changed everything. They said, "You're not broken, you're rebuilding." That one sentence just stayed with me. It completely reframed my entire perspective. I started to realize that maybe my scars, both the visible and the invisible ones, weren't signs of defeat. They were signs of survival. They were proof that I had fought to be here. When we reframe the word broken, we take back control of our narrative. We stop being defined by what happened to us and start being defined by what we are creating from the aftermath. My healing journey stopped being about what I had lost and became about what I had discovered. I found a depth of resilience I never knew I had. I cultivated a new level of empathy, and I learned how to simply sit with others in their pain without feeling the need to fix it, a gift in itself. Here is something we don't talk about nearly enough. Healing takes time because your brain and your body literally need to rewire trust. After a traumatic event, whether it's physical or emotional, your nervous system is constantly on high alert, scanning for danger. Your mind replays what went wrong, trying to prevent it from happening again. For me, every outing, every social event, every attempt at trying something new was met with a wave of anxiety. It was exhausting. But learning about neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to form new connections and pathways, reminded me that patience is actually a part of the science of healing. The body follows belief. When I stopped trying to rush the process and instead began celebrating tiny incremental progress, like walking to the mailbox without pain or having a conversation without my anxiety spiking, my confidence started to grow. not just physically, but cognitively as well. Healing is science and soul working together, one breath, one step, and one conscious decision at a time. One day, someone asked me a question I used to dread: "So, are you healed now?" This time, I smiled and said, "Yes, but probably not in the way you think. Healed doesn't mean I'm back to who I was before. It means I'm at peace with who I've become. It means I can look at my past without bitterness and embrace my present with courage, even on the hard days." Healing is not a single destination you arrive at and then you're done. It's a lifelong relationship with yourself. It's about knowing that pain and grief may visit from time to time, but they no longer get to dictate your worth or your future. And that right there is real power. If this episode spoke to you today, I want you to just pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Think of one part of yourself that's still healing and just honor it. You don't need to rush it. You don't need to compare your journey to anyone else's. You are doing the work, and that is more than enough. I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments, what does healing mean to you today? Your story matters. And as always, no matter the challenge you're facing, remember, you can live fully, thrive with support, and keep moving forward with hope. This is InspireAbility. Let's rise together, uniquely us. Thank you for watching, and if you found value in this conversation, please consider subscribing for more stories of resilience and hope. We'll see you next time.